It feels kind of crazy to say this, but Lionel Messi might be playing in the 2026 World Cup. Most people thought 2022 was the perfect ending, with the trophy and everything. But the way he's performing says Messi isn't done yet. Now imagine this for a second. Winning back-to-back World Cups, ending your career at the absolute peak, the kind of peak that almost never happens. And honestly, there are doubts. Argentina's national team isn't exactly the same team anymore. One of the big heroes from 2022, Angel Di Maria, is gone. Messi also isn't in his prime the way he used to be. But the interesting part is that they're still one of the strongest squads around, easily top 4. Right now, Argentina is ranked among the strongest teams, with around a 10 to 11% chance of winning it all. And depending on the group they get, those odds could even go higher. And Messi is still doing ridiculous things. He recently reached his 900th career goal and came into this stretch after a crazy 2025 season, winning the MLS Golden Boot with 29 goals in just 28 matches. So yeah, he's still that guy. Maybe not 100% of what he was in 2022, but easily 80 to 85%. And that is still incredibly dangerous. So the real question isn't whether Messi can play like he did in 2022. The question is, can he still carry Argentina against teams like France, Spain, and England? Because this isn't 2022 anymore. This is a bigger, tougher 2026 World Cup with 48 teams, more games, and more pressure. And at this stage of his career, can Messi make one last run to the final? Let's start breaking it down. Let's be real. People keep asking the same question. Is Lionel Messi still at that level? The answer is simple. Yes, he is. He's still performing at an elite level, and winning the 2025 MLS MVP proves he hasn't slowed down. If you look at his recent matches, it becomes even clearer. In his last 10 games, 1 with Argentina and 9 with Inter Miami CF, he scored 9 goals and had 2 assists. His passing is still sharp, with around 81% accuracy, and in the 2020 MLS season, he scored 3 goals from 14 shots, which is a pretty solid conversion rate. Now yes, it's true that his dribbling success rate isn't what it was in his prime, hovering around 42.9%. But that's because his game has changed. He's not trying to run past everyone anymore. Now, he plays smarter. Messi now operates more like a second striker or attacking midfielder, focusing on positioning, timing, and finishing rather than constantly dribbling. And it's clearly working, because his expected goals per game are still extremely high, around 0.92. That shows he's always in the right place at the right time. So if anyone is still judging him based on age, Messi is quietly proving that he's still him. And if you're worried about his fitness, honestly, there's no need to panic right now. Messi is currently with the Argentina national team preparing for upcoming international matches. He's fit, involved, and leading the group. But at the same time, he and his medical team are being very careful. At this stage of his career, everything depends on how his body feels day by day. That means he might miss a few games or play fewer minutes, but that's all part of the plan to keep him fresh and ready for the 2026 World Cup. There's also something a lot of people don't talk about, his advantage with the weather. Since joining Inter Miami CF in 2023, Messi has been playing in hot and humid conditions in the United States. He's already shown that he can handle extreme heat, like during the tournament, from the group stage all the way to the final. That's not just great performance, that's legendary level stuff. So yeah, he's older now, calmer, more selective with his movements. He may not dribble like he used to, and he doesn't even need to, because now he plays smarter, saves energy, and still shows up when it matters most. And that's why, even in 2026, Messi is still the kind of player who can decide a game on his own. But at the same time, there's one huge thing you can't ignore: the tactics that helped Lionel Messi perform at that level. His performance at the 2022 World Cup wasn't just hype or pure individual magic. A huge part of it came from the system Lionel Scaloni built. In a lot of ways, it was a tactical masterclass. If you look back at 2018, Messi often had to drop way too deep just to get on the ball. But in 2022, everything changed. Scaloni basically built a system around him, almost like a protection system, so Messi could stay higher up the pitch and focus on what he does best: creating and finishing chances. Players like Rodrigo de Paul, Alexis Mac Allister, and Enzo Fernandez did the heavy lifting in midfield. They pressed, won the ball back, and covered space, which meant Messi didn't have to waste energy defending. Up front, Julian Alvarez brought something special. Instead of just waiting for passes, he constantly pressed defenders, forced mistakes, and created space. That gave Messi more freedom and more opportunities. On top of that, Scaloni kept switching between 4-3-3 and 4-4-2, making it much harder for opponents to predict Argentina's play. Messi always had options, usually a wide player like Angel Di Maria, and a striker ahead of him, so he was never isolated. Now looking ahead to the 2026 World Cup, Argentina is still one of the strongest teams in the world, but their style won't be exactly the same. It's going to evolve. In 2022, everything was built around energy, pressing, and emotion. Messi was at the center of it all, scoring, creating, and leading. But by then, things will probably be more controlled and more tactical. At 39, Messi won't be running all over the place anymore. Instead, he'll play a deeper role, more like a playmaker, almost like a quarterback, controlling the game with his vision and passing rather than constant movement. The midfield, with players like Enzo Fernandez and Alexis Mac Allister, will focus more on controlling possession than non-stop pressing. They're more experienced now, calmer on the ball, and better at managing games. The attack will also look different. Younger, faster players like Alejandro Garnacho and Nico Gonzalez will bring speed and width. They'll stretch defenses and create space, giving Messi more time and more freedom to play key passes. At the back, players like Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero are becoming more complete defenders, not just stopping attacks but also helping build from the back. Overall, this 2026 squad could actually be deeper and more balanced than the 2022 team. The difference is the role Messi plays. Back then, the team depended heavily on his movement and energy. Now, they'll depend more on his intelligence and creativity. There's also a mentality shift. In 2022, Argentina played with emotion and hunger. They were chasing the trophy after a long wait. In 2026, they'll come in as champions with more confidence and more control. And honestly, the squad depth now looks even stronger. Players like Alexis Mac Allister, Enzo Fernandez, and Nahuel Molina have improved a lot over the years. With Lautaro Martinez and Julian Alvarez in great form and new young talents coming through, the team feels more complete. So, in a way, 2022 was a story of passion and one final mission. But 2026? It could be something even bigger. A team built on control, balance, and tactical intelligence, with Messi still acting as the brain behind everything. Most likely, Argentina will line up in either a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 at the World Cup, and their players are perfectly suited for those systems. In goal, there's Emiliano Martinez, the undisputed number one, a World Cup hero, a clutch performer, and the emotional backbone of the team. For depth, there's Geronimo Rulli as the main backup, with reliable options like Juan Musso and Walter Benitez if needed. Then in defense, the main backline starts with Nahuel Molina at right back, Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez as the center-back pairing, and Nicolas Tagliafico at left back. As backups and useful options, Gonzalo Montiel and Juan Foyth offer flexibility on the right. In central defense, the experienced Nicolas Otamendi leads the rotation, alongside options like Marcos Senesi, Facundo Medina, and Nehuen Perez. On the left, Marcos Acuna brings experience, while Valentin Barco adds young energy. In midfield, the core trio is Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, and Alexis Mac Allister. That's the engine: work rate, control, and creativity all combined. For depth, Leandro Paredes brings control and experience in the holding role. Ezequiel Palacios adds energy and balance. Creative options include Thiago Almada, Giovanni Lo Celso, and rising talent Nico Paz. And in attack, the front three is led by Lionel Messi in a free role alongside Lautaro Martinez as the main striker, and Julian Alvarez, who works more like a second striker than a winger. As backups and useful options, Matias Soler brings creativity out wide, while Alejandro Garnacho adds explosive pace. Nicolas Gonzalez offers work rate and balance. Up front, Jose Manuel Lopez and Lucas Beltran provide depth as strikers. Even if Messi were to pick up some kind of injury, Julian Alvarez would be Argentina's main man. He's more consistent now in this European season, where he scored 17 goals in 43 total appearances. And tactically, this isn't just a straight 4-3-3. With Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez drifting inside, the system sometimes turns into a diamond and sometimes into a two-striker setup. It's less about fixed positions and more about controlling the center of the field at the World Cup. Clearly, you can expect Argentina to finish first in their group, And if that happens, their path through the knockout rounds gets interesting. In the round of 32, Argentina, as winners of Group J, would face the runner-up of Group H. That group includes Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde. Most likely it would be Uruguay, a familiar rival. Tough, yes, but manageable. A battle, not a nightmare. Then in the round of 16, if they get through, the path opens up a bit. They would face the winner between the top team in Group B and one of the best third-place teams. That could mean matchups against teams like Italy, Switzerland, or Canada. Strong teams, but not tournament favorites. But in the quarterfinals, things get serious for real. That's where the giants start showing up. Possible opponents include the United States or Belgium, and depending on how the bracket shifts, even Portugal could show up. That's where the World Cup really begins, and people are waiting for that. They want to see the battle between Portugal and Argentina. Messi versus Cristiano Ronaldo one last time. If they win, they would reach the semifinals. And if Argentina gets that far, then the biggest names finally collide. We're talking about possible classics against Brazil or England. That's where the pressure becomes absolute, because a semifinal is pure pressure. So yes, you could say the World Cup structure gives Argentina a bit of luck. Argentina avoids teams like Spain, France, or England in the early rounds. That buys them time, lets them build rhythm, and helps them arrive at the biggest matches fully prepared. For Messi, this is another opportunity. Just imagine winning back-to-back World Cups. If it happens, it would be truly unbelievable. So, what do you think? Should Messi still play for Argentina as the main man? Or should he be satisfied with the 2022 trophy he already won?